Hello, I am Ellie. The masculine energy in all of us craves freedom. I have a feminine core as a woman, but I value freedom very highly. And the majority of men are really going to have freedom as a high point, high value on their list. Like I said, all of us really want freedom. So in this video, I'm going to tell you 4 ways where we can bring the energy of freedom into our relationships. And it's so beautiful. What a beautiful energy. What a beautiful place to be in a relationship where freedom exists. So the first way we can bring freedom into the relationship is to give our partner the freedom to fully be themselves. I remember listening to Ram Dass speak, and he was talking about how in partnerships we have this ideal, this standard that we set for our partner. And without even consciously being aware of it, we kind of decide how they should be. But why do we think that we get to decide that? Our partner is themselves, and it is so freeing to fully allow our partner to authentically be themselves. When we criticize our partner for who they are, we shame them for the core of who they are, for their essence. And this is so painful. So giving our partner the freedom to fully be who they are starts with, of course, ourselves. Because if we do not allow ourselves to be fully who we are, if we don't love ourselves for who we are, we can't love our own shortcomings, our own imperfections, we are not going to be able to mirror that back to our partner and love our partner for their imperfections, for their shortcomings. So freedom in a relationship is absolutely looking at your partner for exactly who they are and just allowing them, accepting them, loving them for who they are, for exactly who they are. And this is unconditional love. You don't have to like everything your partner does, but when we try to control the situation out of fear, because that's why we try to control situations, we have this fear that if our partner isn't a certain way, we're not going to get our own needs met. This is a very selfish way of interacting, of being with our partner. But unconditional love is free. There is freedom in unconditional love. It is I love me and I love you. I allow me to be who I am authentically, imperfectly imperfect, perfectly imperfect, and I allow you to be who you are, imperfectly perfect. And so this is the number one way we can bring freedom to our relationships, to let go of control, to allow our person to just be who they are. We don't get to decide who our partner is. And if we can't do that, if we can't love our partner for exactly who they are, we are hurting them. We're hurting them. It's probably not the right partner for you. So that's number one. The second way that we bring freedom into relationships, beautiful, sweet freedom, is to trust our partner. So of course, our partner has to be trustworthy for us to trust them. But if you don't trust your partner, again, you might be with the wrong partner. But caveat here is oftentimes the reason we don't trust our partner is not because of what they're doing. It's because of our own pain, our own past experiences in which we were with people, even as a child, especially as a child, it all starts there, where we couldn't trust the people around us that were supposed to love us, that were supposed to have our best interest at hand. So we have a lot of personal responsibility. So if we don't trust ourselves, this is a big one. If we don't trust ourselves, and if we have not acknowledged, healed, dealt with, sat with our own pain of not being able to trust others, then we are going to reflect this back to our partner. We're going to look at our partner through this lens of mistrust, and there's not going to be freedom because you're going to be grasping on, trying to control the situation. You're going to have fear, and there's no freedom here. There's no freedom in control of another. There's no freedom in this way of being where we're looking through this lens already of mistrust. It's not what our partner's doing. It's how we are feeling. It's our own history, our own past experiences. So when we can fully trust our partner because they are trustable This is freedom. This gives us freedom in the time away from each other, the spaces in between. We feel safe enough in our own body. We trust ourselves. We have sat with our own pain of past trauma of not being able to trust someone. And we are fully with ourselves, coming back to our center. And we are looking through now with a lens that reflects that self-trust, healing the past pain of not being able to trust others. So trusting your partner to move about in the world and to be free, and not trying to control them, checking on them constantly. This is really, really freedom, and it's so beautiful. I heard this story recently where a man was telling their partner that they, needed the freedom to go out and go on these long hikes, these weekend hikes with other men. And the woman was really, really resisting this, and he went anyways. And then the whole time she's just bombarding him with text, when he had made it clear that actually what he needed was that entire weekend of freedom. He needed a no contact situation, not to punish her, not because she wasn't good enough, just because that's how he recharges, in natures, in the mountains, in the silence. And that's a very masculine way to recharge. And so when we trust our partner, then we can allow them to go on a whole weekend of hiking with other men, or women, if it's a woman, doing whatever she's doing with her friends, and we can just trust them to do that. That is deep medicine. That is deep freedom. Okay, so the third way that we can, and I wrote this list, I'm not good at, lists, numbers. Okay, so number 3 is honor your partner's autonomy. So when we get into a relationship, there's 3 different energies. There's me, my energy, there's you, your energy, and then there's a third energy. That's the energy of 2 people coming together in relationship, creating a third energy. And while that third energy is so beautiful and powerful and amazing, we cannot forget to honor each other's autonomy. We're still individuals, separate. And this is so important. When we don't honor that, when we just are focusing on that third energy and we're wanting to not acknowledge our autonomy, then this is how we lose ourselves in relationship. We lose sight of who we even are, what we like to do outside of the relationship, the things that we need to recharge. Oftentimes, or almost always in relationships, there's tons of things that we like to do together as partners, but then there's things that we like to do separately that maybe we don't have in common. And it's beautiful to honor that. There's freedom in that. So honoring that we are, yes, in a relationship together, we are a team, we have this beautiful third energy of relationship, and also we are still individuals. Okay, and the fourth way to bring freedom into relationships is personal responsibility. So this is a big one because, well, oftentimes when we get into relationships, we make our partner responsible for our pain. And our pain is usually oftentimes not coming from our partner. We get triggered from our partner, but the root of it, the depth of it, is old pain, old experiences. And it's really important to start to differentiate what actually is happening. Is this pain coming from this moment, from what my partner is doing to me? Or is this coming from way back when? And so it's really beautiful, a practice that we can just feel into ourselves. Whenever we're triggered emotionally, we have a rise of emotion from something that our partner is doing, we can ask ourselves in reflection. There's beautiful 3 questions you can ask yourself. So you can feel into your body, take a deep breath, and ask your pain or your emotion, which is information. You can ask it, how long have you been here? What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to protect me from? And a 4th question is, what do you need from me right now? So if you actually take the time when you are triggered, when you're feeling any type of emotion from what your partner is doing or not doing, and you ask yourself these questions, you take personal responsibility for your own pain instead of just dumping on your partner and wanting them to fix your pain, make you feel better, because it's actually not their responsibility to heal your pain or to make you feel better. If you take that time to do it and ask yourself those 3 or 4 questions, oftentimes you will have awareness that actually this pain is from 5-year-old me, from feeling abandoned because my father left, or, my parents were always working, or whatever it is. And if that's the case, this is beautiful. This is freedom, not only for your partnership, but freedom for you. When we take personal responsibility, now we can make change. Now we can actually transmute pain. We can heal. We can rise up. We can move on. And when we don't take personal responsibility, we stay stuck. We stay trapped in that emotion, and we're just grasping at our partner to fix it. And they actually can't. Because if that pain, that emotional trigger that you have is from past you, 5-year-old you, all your other relationships your partner can't fix that. They weren't the ones there that caused it. But we can. So there is freedom for both yourself and your partner when we start to take personal responsibility for our own emotions, our own inner environment, our own pain, own trauma. And there's so much healing that we can do when we do this. But as long as we are stubborn and we're sticking our feet in the mud and we're like, nope, I want you to fix it, there's nothing that can be done. You're just going to be in this circle of pulling and push and pull and arguing and fighting and conflict. It's not going to go anywhere. And sometimes when you feel into yourself and you ask those questions, it could be that actually, it is what my partner is, his actions, his or her actions or non-actions that is causing me pain right now. And so that's beautiful too. If that's the case, and that's honestly the case, then now we can present our partner with our own inner truth in a way that is kind and considers our partner. So even if our partner is doing something that is hurting us, or they're not doing something that's hurting us, we always still are responsible and are going to be served by considering our partner. So when we speak to them, we're not going to come at them and just blah, take that. What is that going to do? You're going to trigger your partner. Now you're in your fight, nothing's resolved. Now you had pain, and now you just layer on more pain, more feeling of aloneness, disconnection. So no, again, take personal responsibility. If your partner's doing something or not doing something that's hurting you, it's beautiful. You acknowledge that, and you can bring it to them with kindness, with consideration, and with love for that person as an individual, not just your partner. They're also a person who deserves to feel good and have kindness and consideration from their partner. So this is so beautiful. Freedom in relationships is really a serious foundation. We need to have this freedom on both sides for both partners to be able to have a relationship that is going to flourish and thrive and make both people feel alive. And we are so powerful. We are so powerful in what we become aware of, what we choose to do, what we choose to say, what energy we choose to embody, what thoughts we let run. We're so powerful. So I hope that your relationship is one of beautiful freedom. And if you like this video, go ahead and support me by subscribing, and speak to me in the comments. I will love to connect to you soon. Thank you.